Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The time is 7:02 p.m. The date is May 21st, 2025, and I am calling to order the monthly ANC 2A meeting for the month of May. We are going to go ahead and start ourselves off with commissioner introductions, going in numerical order.
Hi everyone, my name is Keaton DeCapo, he, him pronouns. I'm the commissioner for 2A01, which includes it's the southeast end of Foggy Bottom, includes the York, Letterman, Empire, and Statesman, as well as Thurston Hall and 1959 E Street, I think is the door. I always get it confused. Oh, yeah, happy to be here.
Hi everyone, this is Mei Yang from ANC 2A02.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tripti Patel, she, her pronouns. I represent Single Member District 2A03, which is the bulk of the historic Foggy Bottom, and I'm the chairperson of ANC 2A.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ed Comer. I represent 2A04, the Watergate, the Kennedy Center, the Institute of Peace, newly liberated, and the western portion of historic Foggy Bottom. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'm up next. Everyone, my name is Jim Malik. I am the representative for Single Member District 2A08, which includes most of Washington Circle. I have West End Place, the Winston House, the Avenue, the President, and a bunch of other great apartment buildings and houses in my district. It's great to be here.
Hi everyone, my name is Sean Youngstone. I'm the representative for SMD 2A09. This includes the block with 2400 and 2424 Pennsylvania, as well as the Varsity on K, the Foggy Bottom Hospital, and a number of other Foggy Bottom buildings, as well as St. Mary's Court.
Thank you for introducing yourselves. After introductions have been done, a quorum has been established. We can go ahead and move on. Next item up on here is the adoption of the agenda. I can see everyone but Commissioner Yang, but barring that there is no one protesting, I can go ahead and motion that we pass the agenda by unanimous consent. If Commissioner Yang could at least verbally say something. Everyone else, I could see if you could do a thumbs up, that would be great.
Yes.
All right, went ahead and passed. Next item up is the approval of the ANC's special May 2025 meeting. Secretary Comer, have there been any edits or changes since the commission has had a chance to review it?
I'll move to adopt those minutes.
And Chair Patel was second. All those in favor, please say aye. Do thumbs up.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it has passed. Next item up on the agenda is administrative matters, which Commissioner Youngstone will be leading that section. And it is the purchase of meeting setup equipment. Commissioner Youngstone, go ahead and run the section, please.
Yes, so earlier this month, we were reached out to by Kent Bowes, who's a representative of OANC. For anyone who doesn't know, they're the division of DC government that sort of works with all the ANCs in the city. They basically made us aware of the opportunity to purchase at no cost a new piece of meeting equipment, which would hopefully in the future allow us to hold hybrid meetings that are significantly easier to set up and take down than they have in the past. For anyone who's sort of familiar with the equipment, it's essentially an all-in-one speaker, camera, microphone device known as an Owl 3. It has sort of, I believe, like a camera that can sort of see in multiple directions at once. And then it'll pick up from the voices of whoever's speaking in the room and sort of show those people sort of in isolate while they're speaking. It's very portable. In theory, it can be sort of taken around in a small suitcase, and would basically just allow us to sort of run hybrid meetings much more efficiently. Since it doesn't cost any money and the bill is willing to be footed by ANC, by OANC, I think it sort of would make sense for us to move forward and request to purchase it. In order to do that, however, we do need a vote. So I'd like to move the question that sort of we, as the OANC, as the ANC, reach out to request this piece of equipment.
Commissioner Youngstone has moved it. Chair Patel will go ahead and second it for the record. Are there any questions or comments from colleagues about this?
Commissioner DeCapo.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, one of the companies I worked at, I actually used an owl for meetings, and I found it to be very useful, and I really liked it and thought I was very happy actually when I saw that the OANC was offering this, and I think especially if we don't have to use ANC 2A funds for it, I think it's a great idea. And if we don't like it, we can not use it. It's not like it costs us anything. So I think it's definitely worth at least giving a shot, especially as we try to go back to in-person for hybrid meetings.
Commissioner Malik.
Yeah, thank you for leading this, and I agree that we should definitely try to acquire this. I just want to, set expectations for members of the public. Miking and creating a video setup for a conference room, like at a corporate meeting, is a little bit different than miking and setting up video for a scenario like the library's meeting room, where we may have 50 people at one time. We may have, 6 up to 9 eventually commissioners that need to be able to be on camera. So there's different needs. I'm not 100% sure that this owl is going to solve all of those needs, but I do think that it could be a part of our kit that makes the setup much easier and much more efficient. I only raise this to say, if you're watching this meeting, this doesn't mean we're going to be back in the library necessarily next month. There are still some things that we need to work through, but I agree with my colleagues that this is going to make it easier to do.
All right, Commissioner Comer.
I want to thank Commissioner Youngstone for looking into this, and I think it's a good idea. I just would like to also point out, in order to make this work, we will need to find a location where we can meet, that the library doesn't work unless we can shorten our meetings so that we're certain we will be finished by 10 o'clock. And I hope that in conjunction with using this equipment and trying to have meetings in person, we can continue to move to try to expedite our meetings so that we can use the library and get done by 10. Otherwise, we're going to have to look for some other venue that allows us to meet after 10. Thank you.
Okay. Any addition? Chairperson Patel.
I think one of the reasons why when I initially saw this, but you beat me to the punch, Commissioner Youngstone, when we saw this equipment. Many ANCs in the city have not had the ability to do hybrid at all because the equipment in question is very cost prohibitive. I know when ANC 2A purchased the equipment, we were a commission that was lucky to have our allotments build up over time so that we could purchase that equipment. It wasn't, from my understanding, I don't remember how much it cost, but it was still a hefty price tag. What members of the public need to understand is, now that we are entering a budget cycle where, public resources are going to be very limited. One of them is the library. It's not that the library doesn't want to host us. The library is not authorized per the government to do anything past 8 p.m. And we meet once a month, and ANC2A is just not able to get all of its business done in under 2 hours, is the reality. And I think my preference is to stay in a location or continue to host meetings in locations that are considered publicly accessible for all. And I see Commissioner Malik has his hand up.
Thank you. Just want to note for the record and for the public, Commissioner DeCapo and I had a meeting with the West End Library a number of weeks ago to talk about whether or not there was any opportunity to move back to the library. And I realize that this is not actually the topic of discussion on the agenda, but it's been brought up. The library is open to trying to find a way to resolve this issue, including ways that might allow us to stay past the library's closing time. There are some technical aspects of the room that were designed with the ANC in mind that allow the library to be locked, but that room to still be accessible after hours. So those conversations are ongoing. I think they are waiting to hear about what the budget might look like moving forward before they want to continue with those conversations. But there is some openness there to trying to figure out what a solution might look like. So I don't want to rule out that we could ever go back to the library. I think they would like to have us there. It's obviously a convenient place for the community to meet. So it's something that's still on the table, basically.
All right. Anything further from commissioners? All right.
I think you did a good job of that, Commissioner Youngstown. If you're a member of the public that has a question or comment about this topic, please raise your hand or hit *9 if you are on the phone. All right. I don't see anyone from the public having any questions or comments on this topic. So we'll go ahead and move into the question. We'll go ahead and do this by division of the House, going in numerical order. Vice Chairperson DeCapo, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Yang?
Yes.
The Chairperson Patel is a yes.
Commissioner Comer is yes.
Commissioner Malik, would you like to vote?
Yes.
And then yes.
Okay, motion passes 6-0. Thank you very much. Next item up on the agenda is the community forum. First item up under that topic is a report from MPD. If you are here from MPD, please raise your hand. You will be promoted, Lieutenant Howden. Thank you.
All right, there we go. How is everyone this evening?
Doing well, Lieutenant. Thank you for being here with us today.
Well, I'm standing outside of the high school band concert, so I'll be brief because it's raining.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
Here to help. So as far as crime goes, all crime by count in ANC2A went down by a count of 9 in the last 30 days over the same 30 days last year. Biggest issues continue to be retail theft, particularly from CVS's. Of note, there were 4 motor vehicle thefts. One of them was a Toyota that started out as a theft from auto. They left a bunch of bags and computers in there, and someone broke in to steal them. And then they found the spare key and stole the van. And then the other 2 were mopeds. One was left with the engine running. So, block your car. Don't leave anything in your car. Don't leave anything in your car, and encourage your friends, people that you know, to do the same. There was one ADW knife, 2400 block of Virginia, that was closed with an arrest on scene. That was 2 individuals. They didn't know each other. There was a dispute over breakfast and some things. Those of you that were aware of that incident. Generally, for the PSA, which is, of course, everything from 14th Street West and generally south of M, the corridor between K and M from about 14th to 22nd is the highest concentration of all sorts of crimes that has to do with the Golden Triangle area and Connecticut Avenue, Club Zone, that sort of thing. As far as ANC 2A goes, it's what I have already mentioned. And my normal hot points, watch out with your headphones, whether it be the Beats or the AirPods. Those are a common attractor of robbery snatches where someone will run up, grab your headphones, and run away. As I mentioned before, make sure to leave nothing in your vehicle. Keep it locked. Park in well-lit, secure areas. Don't leave spare keys in your car. Never, ever leave your car running and unattended. And the most important thing I want to bring out tonight is that on Saturday at 7 p.m., I'll be meeting out at 27th and L. Hold on, let me make sure I'm telling you the right address. 26th and L. 26th and L, 7 p.m. on Saturday for a brief community walk. I picked that location and that time generally because of the recent issues with encampments flaring up in the cleaned out parks. So we'll kind of see if we can meet as a community and do community things. Anyone have any questions?
Thank you for the update, Lieutenant. Commissioner Malik, I'm recognizing you. Raise your hand.
Thank you very much. First off, Lieutenant Houghton, could you please send commissioners an invite to that walkthrough at 26th and L to make sure that we're aware of that? I've written a note, but if that could get sent to our inbox, I think we would all appreciate that to make sure that we're there.
I will see what I can come up with about that.
Okay, thank you. This issue of the headphones being snatched, I was also made aware of this by an MPD representative over the last week or two. Can you tell us how prevalent this is? Like how many headphones have been snatched off of people's heads? Roundabout. I don't expect you to know the exact number.
I would not say it is an epidemic by any stretch, but there is the occasional robbery. It usually happens in the morning or mid-afternoon time, and most of them that I'm aware of actually happen further up to the north end of the 2nd District. So like way up Connecticut, way up Wisconsin, and that sort of thing.
Okay,
Possibly closer to a high school.
I was told that this was a particular issue around the Foggy Bottom Metro stop. You're not aware of that?
Well, so now if it's something that Metro Transit is dealing with, that doesn't always trickle down to MPD. And I don't have any specific data in front of me.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure there have been, but it is not something that is really even enough to show up in the stats. When you pull the stats, it's kind of a fleeting thing. Just,
Okay.
I mentioned it so that people are careful.
Yeah, no, thank you for that. What should someone do if someone snatches headphones off of their head? Like, I assume you do not want them to chase the person who does that or engage with that person in any way. But how can they help you?
The company answer is always going to be do not do that sort of thing. Reach out to 911 or flag down local or a nearby, law enforcement officer. However, everybody's different, and every perpetrator of crime is different. So, if a very young, small person tries to grab your headphones and you're 6'5", I don't know, use good sense and judgment. That's about all I can say on that.
Okay, thank you.
Anytime it happens, though, it would be best to report it. Don't just say, oh, well, these things happen, because it is important that we know, and it's usually the same group or groups, and we need to be able to hone in on anybody that's causing problems. So it needs to be reported.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions or comments from colleagues before I ask a question to Lieutenant Howden? Okay, seeing none. Lieutenant Howden, as always, thank you for appearing before ANC 2A. As everyone in the city knows, we are expecting severe budget cuts. And I know the mayor is planning on handing over the budget to the DC Council on Tuesday, or it's releasing that day. Are do you have any insight of how the budget cuts are going to impact MPD? Because I do believe that is a burning question that the public does have.
I personally have no idea. I'm sure someone far, far above my pay band has some information about that. I will say that we are being very critical and selective about what overtime we approve, whether it be officers working in the section or managers, supervisors, any level. We're being very, very careful with that. As far as long-term implications, I think time will tell.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lieutenant. If if uh Commissioner Comer, did you have a question or comment since you are
I
off
did
mute?
not. No.
Okay. If you're a member of the public, please raise your hand or press star 9 if you're on the phone to be recognized and promoted so you can ask Lieutenant Howden a question.
Hi, my name is Jeannie. I'm your 1C neighbor. In response to Commissioner Malik, my best piece of advice is to not wear headphones at all for people to consider changing their behavior. Many years ago, I was mugged in DuPont Circle. I had headphones on. I was a very easy target. So I think the best recommendation from someone who's been there is to not wear headphones.
Thank you for your comment. If you are a member of the public and you have any questions or comments for Lieutenant Howden, please raise your hand and we'll go ahead and recognize you. And thank you for the advice, Jeannie, and I'm sorry that happened to you. All right, seeing no further questions or comments from members of the public, Lieutenant Howden, thank you for giving us an update, and I hope you're able to get inside and get dry very quickly. Thank you.
It should be fine. And of course, everyone always has my email address. Please continue to shoot me any issues that you have ongoing throughout the month. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next item up on the agenda is report from the ANC appointees to the Aston. If our Aston appointees are here, please raise your hand and we'll recognize you and promote you. All right, I see you, Courtney, and I believe Chris has also been promoted. All right, I yield the floor to the both of you. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Courtney Cooperman, one of the ANC 2A appointees to the Aston Community Advisory Team.
And I'm Chris Labus. Sorry, there we go. Also, the appointee from the ANC 2A to the Aston CAT team.
I can kick us off. Just a little summary. We had our monthly meeting last Monday, May 12th. Got our usual updates from DHS. They shared that there's currently 83 participants at the Aston. They're working on scaling that up to 100. There have been several positive exits in April and May, and they just published the first quarterly report. And one of the highlights from that is that 108 unique individuals have been served by the Aston since it opened. Don't think I need to go through every single data point in the report, but if people want some more details, I can go into that. And yeah, we also got an update from DGS. There is this is all of last Monday. I haven't heard any updates since then, but as of last Monday, there was a verbal permanent certificate of occupancy. At this point, they may have it in writing. I'm not 100% sure about that. And they are assessing the feasibility of upgrading the generator in light of the situation that happened a few months ago. The generator is up to code, but that kind of standard for the generator. It does not require that it keep everything in full operations. They're considering whether it's possible to upgrade it to kind of go above and beyond. We also had a little bit of a conversation about the trash cans, because there were some questions about the trash cans being out front, and that protocols being updated. So now the trash cans are taken to the back area after they've been emptied, but they're still set outside in front the night before because that's where the trash collectors pick them up. So that's being discussed, and that protocol has been improved. Chris, is there anything else from the meeting that I didn't cover?
Yeah, there was also the website is officially been launched. They're still driving it around, kicking the tires and all of that. Jim, I don't know if you want to put this up in the chat, but the website is dhs.dc.gov/page/Aston. And there was something else. Oh, Courtney, maybe you might be able to. My notes were kind of vague on this, but they were dispelling a rumor that many of the people that were cleared from the Foggy Bottom encampments were admitted to the Aston just right out without going through any kind of application process. And that is, they wanted to say very much that was not so, that did not happen. And then finally, one thing that I should add is that there is more information forthcoming regarding volunteering and donating, but they're just not there yet.
Thanks,
So keep an eye out. But the best way to stay informed is through the new website. And I think that's all that I have. It was a very brief meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think your last one, right, Courtney?
Yeah, I can.
Is that your last one?
Yeah, kind of a bittersweet update is that I am actually moving to San Francisco this weekend for a new job. So I am stepping down from my role as an ANC2A appointee to the community advisory team. So this will be my last update, but I just wanted to thank everyone for entrusting me as one of your 2 representatives and for being so thoughtful and engaged and attentive during all these updates for the past year or so. That I guess it's pretty much a little over a year that that we've been meeting as a community advisory team and sharing these updates. I don't have any information on the process for selecting my replacement, but I'll put in a plug for the experience of serving on the CAT for those who are really passionate and eager to serve the community and contribute to its continued success. Stay tuned for whatever that process looks like. If there's, I don't know if there's another ranked choice vote in the works, but I highly endorse the experience.
Thank you both. Before I go into my questions, I want to, yield the floor to any questions or comments from colleagues before I ask my questions. Okay, seeing none from any of my colleagues. Commissioner Malik, please.
Thank you. First off, Courtney, as I said in the CAT meeting, I just want to thank you for your service. You've been an outstanding member of the CAT. We were lucky to have you. Every aspect of this process has been better because of your involvement. So thank you. We're going to miss you. With that, also just one super brief note. I just want the community to know with the situation with the trash cans. I also raised the issue in the meeting that the trash cans are not being closed all the time. So it's not just that they're out front and visible, it's that they are sometimes overflowing and propped open, which is obviously not just a sightline issue, but it can also be a rodent and a pest issue. So DHS has committed to us that by the next meeting, they're going to have an update and a plan for how to resolve that issue to make sure that all of those cans are handled appropriately and that we don't have just like open receptacles with trash in them. So I just wanted to let everyone know that we are working on that. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from colleagues before I go into my questions or comments? Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and go into it. I think the first question or comment, and this is unfortunately, probably something outside of all of our purview. I hope DHS has been working with DPW, the Department of Public Works, because trash collection falls under that purview. So hopefully the agency directors have been talking to one another to go ahead and facilitate that issue. But that is important. So in the budget performance oversight hearings, that will be something that will be mentioned. Hi, make sure that this area stays properly clean so we don't have rodent and pest issues and having an unsightly area. So I will go ahead and make sure that is flagged in my notes. The second thing I want to just be able to say is really, really great to hear all of this positive feedback, like about how well the Aston is just, every month I just keep hearing success story after metric. So if one of the two of you could email me and the commission the report, that would be great. We are going to budget performance oversight hearing, and I want to point to that report. I know it's probably on the website, but if I could get from one of the two of you, that would be great. And the third comment I will have is Courtney, it has been such a privilege and an honor to have you serve as one of our two ANC 2A CAT appointees. You have been there for the wild ride of the Aston, and you have just been such a great contributor, a fierce and formidable champion for the Aston. Your successor will have incredibly, incredibly large shoes to fill, but you helped shape the Aston into what it is, and every report after that will have a little bit of your imprint on that. So I am very, very sad to see you leave DC and leave the CAT, but I am beyond thrilled for your next big amazing opportunity that is going to take you to San Francisco.
Really appreciate that. And again, being on the CAT has been just one of the highlights of my time in DC and my career up to this point. So I'm grateful for the trust and the opportunity.
Wonderful. I don't see any further questions or comments from colleagues. If you could just indulge us a little bit more, I think maybe members of the public may have questions or comments for both of you. If you're a member of the public that has a question or comment about the Aston, please raise your hand and we'll go ahead and promote you. Star 9 if you're on the phone.
John, you have been promoted.
I did not raise my hand. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. Any further questions or comments from members of the public? All right. Seeing none. Courtney, I'm releasing you from ever having to do an update from us again.
No.
I know. I know. This breakup is hard, but warmest wishes, and obviously, Chris, I know she has been an excellent partner in crime for you.
Yep.
And we will make sure you have a new partner in crime that can not only add their own unique imprint, but just continue the fierce and formidable work that Courtney has already laid down for us.
Yeah.
So.
And I just also like to add very briefly, Courtney, I think I said this to you before, but just take a little piece of DC with you in your heart, that of your experiences that you've had here, and work your magic in San Francisco like we know you will. Thank you so much. You're a great colleague, and Godspeed.
Thank you. I'm going to miss working with you.
All right. We'll both give you back the rest of your Wednesday night. Thank you so much. All right, next item up on the agenda is a report from the office of our Ward 2 council member, Councilwoman Pinto. If you are here from her team, raise your hand. All right, Brian, you have been recognized.
Hey, everybody. Good to be with you, back with you. Hannah's off tonight, so I'll be giving our update. I do have a short PowerPoint if I can share it for a visual aid. Okay. Okay, hopefully you can see that now. So I'll jump right in. As you're all aware, we're currently in the midst of a man-made budget crisis that is caused by the House of Representatives, failing to fix an issue that they caused by disallowing DC from spending $1 billion of our own FY25 budget. Mayor Bowser did use a 2009 law that allowed her to increase the budget annually by 6%, which is still leaving us about $410 million short in our current budget. The mayor has frozen hiring, overtime pay, bonuses, and promotions, and we're still anticipating much more drastic austerity measures if they do not pass the fix soon. Speaker Johnson has said he is planning to call it for a vote, but that he's waiting until after the House passes President Trump's massive tax bill, which is being debated right now. That looks like it could be voted on before this weekend potentially, but again, check out the news because that stuff changes so quickly. We do encourage residents to continue to contact members of the House, and three specifically, Speaker Johnson in terms of calling the vote, and then Congressman Andy Harris from Maryland and Congressman Clyde from Georgia. Those are the two of the Freedom Caucus members who we believe are helping to hold this up, to urge them to allow the vote on this critical funding fix for DC that President Trump supports, that the Senate has already passed on a bipartisan basis, and would allow us to spend our own locally approved tax dollars on our already congressionally approved budget. This entire debacle, of course, is delaying the fiscal year 2026 DC budget process. Although there was a big breakthrough last week, the mayor had planned to submit her proposed FY26 budget to the council in April. And so the council and the mayor met last week to discuss the timing, and the mayor agreed to send her proposal to the council this coming Tuesday, May 27th. So we'll have the budget this coming Tuesday after the Memorial Day holiday. The council will almost immediately begin agency budget hearings on May 29th, and those will go until June 18th. So May 29th to June 18th, the budget hearings. And then the committee markups will be June 23rd to June 25th. I'm going to post the schedule, or I'll put it in the Q&A. Find a way to get it to you all. The votes will be July 14th and July 28th. So again, July 14th is the first vote, I think the most critical in my opinion. And then July 28th is the second vote. There is also a third vote that usually will happen after that, but we're hoping it will still be in July if possible. So again, July 14th and 28th. Of course, the federal government is also continuing to harm DC in other ways. A few weeks ago, Moody's downgraded DC's credit rating, which makes it more expensive for DC to borrow money. They cited the mass cuts to federal spending and the federal workforce and federal real estate. So not good news for us. We're also closely monitoring proposed cuts to Medicaid that Congress is considering. I always try to remind people 38% of DC residents rely on Medicaid, including 4 out of every 5 nursing home residents and 3 of every 7 children in DC. A lot of people also think that Medicaid users are not working, not at work. But 60% of adults that are on Medicaid in DC are working. And then a lot of the others, like I just said, might be in nursing homes or above working age. The Medicaid funding formula is very complicated. I will share a link to Councilmember Christina Henderson's recent video that I really like, where she uses a whiteboard to explain the funding formula in a really easy to understand, 2-minute video. So I encourage you to check out at-large Councilmember Christina Henderson's video for that. Congress is also proposing changes to SNAP or grocery assistance. 140,000 DC residents rely on SNAP. The funding formula for SNAP, as proposed, would decrease federal coverage by 25%, and then DC would be forced to pick up the additional 25% or make cuts. And it would also raise the age that someone would have to be working until in order to qualify for SNAP from 54 to 64. So again, just more harmful cuts and not helping people that need grocery assistance. I have a few legislative updates. The Washington Teachers Union voted unanimously to support Councilmember Pinto's bill to ban cell phone use in schools during the school day. The committee of the whole voted, I think last week on the bill to advance it, and we're hopeful that it will now be passed by the council in the coming weeks and will be implemented for this coming school year. About a month ago now, Councilmember Pinto introduced her Peace DC plan to continue to drive down crime and promote peace in DC. As Hannah explained last month, it's a combination of legislation, funding priorities, and strategies. We're hoping we'll build on Secure DC's success. I'll post the link for more information on that in the chat. She did hold 2 hearings on the plan, I think, since you last met, with over 70 public witnesses. We're still scheduling a roundtable on the plan to merge the violence intervention programs that we were kind of waiting on the budget schedule, which is now all getting settled. Councilmember Pinto also recently held a public safety forum in Ward 8 and public safety walks in Wards 1, 2, and 7. And Ward 2, it was in Shaw. And we'll be holding more walks this month around the city to hear from residents about what they want to see to feel safer. On this coming Tuesday, she'll be walking in Ward 4 with Councilmember Louis George, meeting with Honeymoon Chicken in Petworth, if you know where that is, up Georgia Avenue. And then next Friday, she'll be walking in Ward 5 with Councilmember Zach Parker, if you're interested in joining either of those walks. We're also, of course, getting ready for, well, I guess we are ready for World Pride since it started. It marks the 50th anniversary of Pride celebrations in DC. Trans Pride and Black Pride have already started. There's a lot of different Pride events that go on. So that will be going on this weekend. Our top priority, as always, is making sure that the events are safe. We've been working with our public safety agencies and partners and have a lot of plans in place should any issues arise or any federal government challenges arise. But we're hopeful that it'll be a pretty fun few weeks. We would love to see rainbow flags out in every neighborhood. There's a lot going up in Logan Circle and DuPont Circle. So hopefully there's some going up in Foggy Bottom and West End as well. You can also text World Pride DC to 888-777 for alerts for street closures, transit, and weather updates during the events. Again, it's World Pride DC, all one word, no space, to 888-777. It's part of Alert DC. Our office will be marching in the parade down 14th Street to Pennsylvania Avenue. That's on Saturday, June 7th at 1 p.m. So if you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. And we'll post the RSVP link in the Q&A as well. And then finally, Councilmember Pinto is hosting a Ward 2 Residents Night Out at the Nationals against the Miami Marlins on Saturday, June 14th at the 4:05 p.m. game. You can register to request up to 5 tickets while tickets last. I do think we still have a lot available. So again, I'll post the link in the chat for that as well. You can always go to brookpintodc.com to find any of these links on the events page. And then I don't have any details really about the potential military parade that same day on June 14th. But because you guys are ANC 2A, this will impact your ANC. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned it. There's an Axios link that I've been looking at, that shows a little route that goes from the Pentagon to the Lincoln Memorial, along the Mall, Constitution to the Washington Monument. And it says it will be an evening event from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Again, it's hard to know what's going on with the federal government these days, but, certainly concerning, but something we're keeping our eye on. But does sound like something that you may be able to avoid if you stay a little bit north, hopefully, if you're hoping to avoid it. Otherwise, maybe you're hoping to attend. Anyway, that is all from me. I'm happy to stop and take questions and comments.
As always, thank you so much, Brian. I do have questions and comments for you, but before I ask you mine, I want to make sure my colleagues have a chance to ask you any questions or comments. If you have a question or comment for Brian, please raise your hand and I will recognize you so you can speak. All right. Commissioner Youngstown.
Hi, Brian. Thanks so much for representing for us. So I had a question regarding the agreement that Brooke Pinto inked with the DC city government prior to the opening of the Aston, which limited its capacity to a maximum of 100 people. Given that right now the district is seeing sort of a major uptick in sort of people who've been laid off from the federal government, it's currently facing down a potential recession, and that sort of shelter beds for men are currently sort of fully occupied within the district. Does Councilmember Pinto have any potential openness to revisiting that agreement, given both just sort of the conditions on the ground in DC, which will likely lead to more demand, and sort of the extreme like budget cuts we're going to be facing down soon in the city.
Certainly, and thank you, Commissioner. I know that's something that ANC 2A has been interested in for a little bit now. I'll definitely revisit it with her. I don't know if she'd be willing to raise the amount. I definitely hear the merits of it. And again, it's been so successful, which we're so thankful to all of you and the CAT as well. So hopefully that has proven that, you know, maybe they can take on some more folks. So I'll definitely talk to Councilmember Pinto about that.
Great, thanks. Yeah, I'd love a chance to chat with this possibility.
Any further questions or comments before I go into my several questions and comments with Brian? Okay, seeing none. Brian, as always, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming back. You know, I know for a while you ditched us, but now you're back. So glad to have you back. I fully attach myself to Commissioner Youngstone's comments. ANC 2A will be presenting a resolution around asking that there be reconsideration and the Aston go full capacity given the dire budget crisis. We think that, you know, having a state-of-the-art facility that is a smashing success to be only used at a 50% capacity it's criminal. We should be utilizing this facility to transition as many people into permanent supportive housing. So I want to echo that. One of the budget asks I will be making during the budget cycle is for a generator that can keep the Aston fully operational. I know like these power outages are rare, but a situation where a generator can't even provide hot water or any of those things, which are considered non-negotiable things that somebody needs to reside in a safe living situation. So just want to make sure that anyone who is placed in the Aston will not be re-traumatized in having to be dislocated, even if it is for a valid emergency. I think the only other comments and questions I have about the budget cycle is while we can't control what the federal government their cycle is, if the budget if they fix the bad budget snafu, I guess you could say my first question is how fast could the reallocation of funds happen again? Because I know everything is happening contingent on we're not going to get the money, if that makes sense. And then I do have another question for you after that.
Right. I think that's something. Well, first on the Aston topic, I was over at the Aston during the power outage, and even the staff were, you know, all sitting in the lobby with blankets on. So it was, you know, I think we have a strong interest in the generator being upgraded as well. You know, something that you don't think of until it happens, generally. And then the federal budget. Yes, I think this Tuesday we're going to find out a lot more. We don't have any idea about the actual like austerity measures. At some point I was hearing school days would be cut to 4 days a week, with no makeup scheduled. And again, just have no idea if that is actually, you know, in a real plan. And obviously we're getting towards the end of the school year now. So I think that'd have to be other cuts somewhere. Because as we know, most of the funding cuts are staff salaries now. So again, we'd probably be looking at MPD, which has a large burden of that. And then while we've got World Pride, while we've got this parade, like it's just things that we're not going to really be able to actually cut. So I'm really curious what the plan is. And I think that's something we're supposed to see on Tuesday from the mayor. So we'll see. And yeah, as far as I know, I don't think that, like, yes, I mentioned the salary freezes and raise freezes and that sort of stuff, but I don't think there have been too many cuts made yet. So yeah, I think we're hoping to avoid that still, but just unclear.
All right. And then my second question is, and you actually brought it up. So the SNAP and the Medicaid cuts. So I did not know this. I went to the all ANC update about the Better Bus Network, and there's a program that WMATA has, and it's called Metro Lift, and it's set aside for people individuals who are on SNAP recipients. And so with the change in requirements that the federal government is talking about, my biggest concern is that a lot of people are going to fall through that safety net. I mean, I, as you even echoed, a lot of people who are on public assistance benefits, and as someone who is on Medicaid and on SNAP, this toxic narrative of that people who use these benefits are people who don't work, who are trying not to work, that is completely false. A good portion of low wage workers, especially tipped workers, are on Medicaid, they are on SNAP, and they are working full time just like I am. And I know that for tipped workers and low wage shift workers, having reliable, safe, reliable, affordable transit is critical for them being able to get to and from work. I am actually going to be presenting a resolution around like, hey, in which a lot of ANC commissioners in this meeting like actually discussed, is that we have to protect the MetroLift program. And so I don't know what can be done on the council's end to ensure that that safety net is met with integrity. I do know that WMATA is exploring this very hard, and a lot of it is contingent on what happens at the federal level. We understand that. But anything our councilwoman can do would be appreciated.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing point. I will definitely talk to WMATA after this. Thank you so much for raising that. Hopefully they can change the eligibility criteria, or maybe I guess they'll probably say let's wait to see what happens with SNAP. But again, if it's an immediate sort of thing, we want to make sure that we're able to transition folks to still be able to receive the discount, because it is 50% off. I think, like you said, it's pretty large. But I think you make a really great point that would impact a lot of people. There are other reduced fare programs, but they're not as large as that. So yeah, we can definitely talk to WMATA. I don't think it came up in their board meeting this week. There were a lot of big flashy issues that came up, but I don't think that was one.
Okay. Those were all the questions and comments I had for you. So as obvious, you're going to see me at a lot of the hearings. Has the councilwoman put up all of the hearings for the agency she has purview on? Okay, so
Yes.
you'll see me at the Office of Attorney General's hearings. So I will definitely be present at that. And I will see if there are any further questions or comments from members of the public about the budget or just anything about Ward 2. If you are a member of the public and you have a question or a comment for Brian Romanowski from the councilwoman's team, please raise your hand and we'll promote you. All right, seeing no questions or comments, Brian, I'll release you to enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night. Thank you as always.
Thanks so much, and thank you all for your service.
All right, bye-bye. All right, next item up on the agenda is a report back from the mayor's team. If you are here from the mayor's team, please raise your hand.
Hello. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Wonderful. Thank you. I hope everyone's having or is staying dry. I know it's raining a lot today. Brian still did steal a little bit of thunder talking about the budget. I know right now things are very hectic, people are awaiting things. Once we hear anything, I will be one of the first to give Chairperson Patel a call, forward her stuff. So as soon as something happens, there's changes, you all will be one of the first to know. Please be assured of that. But we are hoping sooner than later. So that's the update regarding the budget. Other 3 updates and happening sort of this month is, again, World Pride. We're going to have different events until June 8th. Brian did mention the call number or the text number, so I welcome you all to text that number to be updated on what's happening. In addition to that, I invite everybody to come to the Wilson Building next Thursday at 4 p.m. We'll be doing the flag raising to celebrate Pride Month. So if you are free Thursday, we welcome you. I hope to see you there. I will send the link to register and to get more information on when to arrive, and what to bring and what not to bring. And then my fourth update is our partner WMATA. They are also welcoming World Pride. So starting May 24th, there will be lots of buses and the metros with like different sort of decorations revolving around Pride Month. So you will be able to see that. And then another update regarding WMATA is that there's going to be a couple of changes on their buses, and all of that happening June 29th. I will be happy to share more resources on that. We had a session with them where they explained a couple of lines that would get impacted, but I'm sure that depending on which commute where you're going, you can kind of figure out exactly if your commute or route will be getting impacted. But that's starting June 29th, so you still have about a month, a little over a month to prepare if you are an avid bus rider. And I think that's really it for this month. I know there's a lot of things still happening and a lot of things that are still up in the air. But I welcome you all to reach out to me if there's any other questions, comments, sentiments you would want me to pass down to leadership at the mayor's office. Thank you.
Thank you, Adriana. Do I have any questions or comments from colleagues before I ask my questions or provide my comments? All right. Well, it looks like it's me again that's gonna have questions or comments. So with World Pride coming up, and Brian Romanowski did mention this. As we know, we are facing like a budget shortfall, and World Pride is not an event where we can cut back. And I guess my question is more after World Pride. Are we gonna see a reduction in services as far as transit goes? Because with World Pride, we're gonna have to keep the buses and the metro running at a very strong, consistent schedule and keeping them running tighter. But I do know that has been a concern echoed with third shift workers, low wage shift workers who do rely on the 24/7, 24-hour, 7-day a week bus lines. And as in the performance oversight hearing, WMATA did state that it is a smashing success, and their highest rate happens between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. So I don't know if you have any insight about like the impact of budget cuts on transit.
That's a really good question. I'd be happy to connect with WMATA. They did not mention exactly what the protocol or what exactly is going to happen after World Pride. I know right now we're kind of still like preparing and anticipating that. But I'll be happy to circle back and I'll connect with them and provide a more specific answer.
Okay. And this is my comment, and you could take it back to leadership. As a low wage shift worker that is tipped, I am very disturbed along with my colleagues in the industry to hear the possibility of the repeal of Initiative 82. Tipped workers have come to rely on our current sub minimum wage, which is $10 an hour. It is supposed to go up to $12 an hour. It enables a lot of tipped workers to live with dignity. It's improved our quality of life. There has been a study released by Unite Here 25 that shows that tipped workers have seen their income increase as much as $12,000. It's about an average of about $12,000 to $15,000 a year. So this is a poverty lifting tool, like it's lifting people out of poverty. The sky is not crashing, like we're lifting the floor. And I'm more than happy to say that to anyone in leadership as well. But that is a direct sentiment, and then ANC2A will be presenting a resolution around that as well.
Okay, I'll be happy to pass this along, and thank you for sharing that.
All right.
Thank you.
And if you could indulge me for one more minute, I'm going to just see if any members of the public have any questions or comments for you from the mayor's team. If you have a question or comment for the mayor's team, please raise your hand and we'll recognize you. And *9 if you're on the phone. Will, you're recognized.
I thank you, Chair Patel. This is Will Crane, Foggy Bottom Association. I have a comment. I would just like to give a big thanks out to Adriana for her service and the Executive Office of the Mayor. We had a neighbor of mine who's a senior citizen had a major surgery of knee replacement, and I called her to get advice, and I just want to say that she was able to identify the agency that would be able to help us out getting this individual to physical therapy, get them set up with an account, and for about 5 weeks now, they have been receiving regular service, and they've just been texting me back and forth constantly, just saying how appreciative they are. And I just wanted to make sure that that level of appreciation and gratitude is recognized here and on the record. So thank you, Adriana, and I encourage all, even if it's something that may not seem like it's a mayor's office issue, we were able to identify how to fix it, and it was fantastic working with her. So thank you, Adriana. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thank you for flagging that, Will. Appreciate it.
Any further questions or comments from members of the public? I'll give you a moment to raise your hand. All right, seeing none. Adriana, thank you for the update and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. And next item up on the agenda is commissioner updates. We'll go ahead and go in numerical order.
I have none.
Thank you. Commissioner Yang?
In ANC 2A02, we are actively working out the settlement with Velvet. If you have any comments or opinions you'd like to share, please email me. Yeah, we're in a stage of active negotiation.
Commissioner update from Chair Patel. I have been anxiously awaiting the budget, so I will be participating heavily in the budget performance oversight hearings. Enjoy this light meeting because June will be heavy with ANC 2A resolutions around budget priorities. And that's all I've got for you. If there is something in the budget that you feel should be that ANC 2A should weigh in on, please email myself and all of the commission about budget priorities. I'm sure all of us will be reading that, reading the budget book when it gets released. That's all my updates. Commissioner Comer?
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Hey everyone, Jim Malik here from 2A08. A couple of quick updates. First of all, I'll be holding my next office hours on Monday, June 9th from 5 to 7 p.m. in the conference room at the West End Library. Please come out, say hello. If you have any issues that you'd like to discuss, I would love to hear them. If you just want to come chat, you're more than welcome. So please come out. Second, I have been getting reports from residents in my SMD about astronomically high Pepco bills this winter. I have also personally experienced astronomically high Pepco bills. So I am investigating this. There's a long way to go until we have any answers about exactly why people are getting bills of $700, $800, $900. I've seen one bill that was $1,500 for a month, just absurdly high amounts. I'm doing my research on that. I'm working through what the causes of that might be. I'm getting emails all the time about it. If you have any questions about Pepco's billing, or if you would like to share your bills from this winter so I can include them in my data and have a better conversation with Pepco when that time comes, please feel free to contact me by email. I would love to talk to you about that. Earlier in the meeting, it was mentioned that ANC 2A will most likely at some point in the future be considering a resolution on asking Councilmember Pinto and the mayor to increase the maximum capacity of the Aston from 100 to 200 residents. That resolution has not been formally introduced yet. It's not currently on the table. We're not talking about that tonight, but I expect it will be brought forward. I'd like to know what you think about that. If you're a resident of 2A08, please contact me. I want to hear your opinion on if that's a good idea. So don't hesitate to reach out to me about that. Lastly, if you'd like updates about what's going on in the neighborhood, you can sign up for my email list at jimsemaillist.com. There's nothing there but a sign up form. You can go and put your email address in, and I will send you my monthly newsletter. That's all I've got. Thank you very much.
All right. I don't have much to report, but just to follow up on sort of Jim's last item there, I'll be the one submitting the resolution for increasing the Aston's capacity. I believe it'll actually be for 190, not 200. But yeah, if you have sort of any comments as well, please feel free to reach out to me as well. I'd sort of love to hear you. Yeah, that 2A09 at anc.dc.gov.
All right, commissioners, thank you. And Commissioner Malik, I believe I had sent it to you. I believe the utilities issue is not just isolated to your single member district. I think this is a citywide issue. The Office of Attorney General has provided an advisory alert. It's going through the Consumer Rights Division. So they are taking these complaints. So I would recommend, having you and your constituents reach out to the Office of Attorney General about that. Number one, there is a contact that we have at Pepco Government Affairs outside of Linda Greenan, who has already been receiving complaints about this from other members of ANC2A. So that's second. And there would have to be an investigation upon this. I have heard this. So apparently there is a theory or a suspicion that the increase in Pepco utilities are due to Jeff Bezos, but I did not have a chance to understand that. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is that there is actually a rally where one of these issues are actually the Pepco utility issue is getting highlighted. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I don't know anything about this. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. But since you brought this up in your commissioner updates, I just wanted to flag a lot of that for you. So that as you are kind of doing your own investigation upon this, you have as much of the information as possible.
Thank you very much.
All right. Finishing out the community forum section, we're going to go ahead and go into the next section of our agenda. We are going to be hearing about a certificate of need.
Point of order.
Yes.
Yes, Chair Patel, you forgot about requesting public comments.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I can't read very much on my cell phone. The print is really small. Yes, if you're a member of the public and you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and raise your hand. John, you're recognized.
Thank you. This time I really did raise my hand. My question is, do you have any information on the status of the community benefits agreement for 2100 M Street now that the Post brothers appear to have secured ownership of the building through a foreclosure sale?
The only update I can give you about that is that I will be in conversations with them at the end of the month, beginning of next month. So there's still a lot of things that they have to settle on their end before we can even restart their conversation again.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Will, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chair Patel. Two quick things. One, I'm really glad to hear that the Aston is such a success, and of course, there's going to be discussions about increasing its capacity. On the flip side, I remember when this was just being brought forth to the community, one of the big promises from DMHHS was that they were going to be a little bit more responsive to the community needs, not necessarily just to encampment clearings, but to the cleanups that happen afterwards. There's the amount of human feces that the people are having to interact with. Specifically, I've sent out 3 locations that are just, one of them is 2626 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest. There is a tent that is 60% blocking the sidewalk, and there is a box of human feces on the other side. So we've reported this to DMHHS. There's been 0 response. That's just one of many. Also, the cleanups that have happened in subsequent clearings, there seems to be a break between all the trash and litter that is there, and the Foggy Bottom Association is trying to have a cleanup, but there are certain items that we are not able to access or clean up due to the hazardous nature of them. So I'm just hoping that as the conversation continues about capacity, that we also ask DMHHS to honor their commitment to being more responsive to these micro concerns. And it's not that we're asking for more and more clearings, but we're asking for cleanups and post-clearing cleanups. So that's a big thing. That's my comment. My question is, the Foggy Bottom Association had a community meeting last night, and DDOT Director Sharon Kirschbaum was kind enough to attend. It was well attended, and it was a great meeting. In preparing for that meeting, I was reminded that we had passed several resolutions in this body regarding alley dwellings, DDOT resolutions, and I wanted to go to the website to pull those resolutions to be able to present them to the director directly and in paper, since this was an in-person meeting. Perhaps it's a user error, but I went to the website, I found resolutions from 2024, but there seems to be none from 2025. Would y'all care to comment on that, please?
Commissioner Malik, I'll go ahead and recognize you since you have your hand raised.
Thanks. I can't speak on behalf of the commission. I'm just speaking in my individual commissioner capacity here. I don't think we have any of the 2025 resolutions on the website yet. I think it's pretty clear to anybody who looks at the website that we need to rethink what this website is and how it's updated and what purpose it serves. We haven't really had any conversations about that as a commission yet. I would like, in the next version of our website, whenever that may come, to have us have sort of a resolution tracker that makes it easy for commissioners and the public to see when a resolution was introduced, when it was passed, who voted for it, who voted against it, what the response from the agency was, and just sort of lays out in a clear and concise manner the life cycle of that resolution. I think that would be really helpful. I can tell you, Will, I have had trouble also finding resolutions that I've tried to go back and find, not just this term, but even last term. It's not a very it's not organized in a very logical or helpful way. So your point is well taken, at least on my end. I think this is something that we should focus on, and I hope that we will be able to do that.
I appreciate your comment. And it's not to like post criticism, because again, I would like to be able to use the work and efforts that y'all have done for us to be able to advocate to an agency director in person. And as we approach budget oversight hearings, these would be a great tool to be able to use. And it would just be great. I mean, I would love to see a life cycle progress, but even just a file that says, here is what we have so far. how would you recommend public access this information currently?
So right now, and colleagues, please correct me if I'm wrong about this, if they're not on the website, I don't think that they're publicly accessible, and we definitely need to rectify that as quickly as we can. I'm looking at the website, I don't see anything from this term, so we do need to address that. I also think it's an issue, personally, of when I look at this list, it's hard to find resolutions unless you know exactly what you're looking for, because there's not a lot of notation as to like what link refers to what resolution, what the topic is. I think we need to be much more precise and helpful in the way we upload these to the website, so that when you want to go back and find a specific resolution, it's easy to do so. Right now, I wouldn't even know how to recommend that you search this database. Like I'm looking at lists where it says like 2023 DOB performance oversight, you know, the address of a building. That's not particularly helpful unless you already know what the contents of that document are. So I think we could improve that and should improve it. I don't have a specific answer to your question as to how to find, you know, this term's resolutions right now. We just need to make sure that they get uploaded. And, you know, I'll work with the executive director, other members of the commission to make that happen.
It would be very appreciated. Again, we're all working under constrained budgets, constrained timelines, and we all want to advocate, you know, that I'm trying to schedule budget hearings, and to be able to use these tools effectively is, you know, part of my gratitude to this commission in putting these through. So again, it's not a criticism. It's just, I want to be sure that these things are available to us. And I think that good enough is good enough at this moment in time, so that before these hearings start, it would be great is if we could have access to those. Thank you.
Commissioner Youngstone, you're recognized.
Yeah, I'll just second most of what Commissioner Malik was saying. I think at minimum we should be able to get those resolutions for this year hopefully up soon. We can have an internal discussion later about it, but I imagine that's something we should be able to do next week or two. And yeah, I do also think the website as a whole could serve use a revamp. Yeah, I think for sure we should definitely prioritize just getting them up first, and then after that we can have a larger conversation about improving it.
Thank you, commissioners.
This is Chair Patel. I have observed this about our website. I've noticed that a lot of sections of our website, there's some kind of issue. I don't know what it is. I know Edie Shellis has been tasked with trying to figure out, all of a sudden, a lot of our older resolutions, which we've not changed, as far as I'm concerned, has not changed on our back end. Like you can't access things from like 2023, 2022, because I was also looking to reference some of our older resolutions in my current resolutions as I'm writing them. So this is something I have actually like flagged for our ED, and I'm not sure what the status of that is, because I do know that Commissioner Malik has flagged, you know, some issues that we've noticed through our website. Like apparently a lot of emails are bouncing when people try to email the comments, try to email us through the comments. So I don't know what's going on with our website. But, you know, thank you for bringing that to our attention, because I don't know why like some of our older resolutions aren't coming up, which is perhaps one of the reasons why some of the newer ones haven't been presented, because it's like, okay, if the older ones aren't coming up, are we going to run into an issue with the newer ones coming up? But no, we definitely want to put up the resolutions that all of the colleagues have worked on. I mean, we've worked really hard on those those resolutions. They definitely should be viewed by the public. Speaking for myself, I've had Director Kirschbaum like acknowledge receipt of the DDOT performance oversight hearing. She did respond directly to me. And a lot of agencies have stated that they were going to respond in a formal capacity to some of the questions and issues I've raised. But you know, if there is an ANC 2A resolution that I've written, just feel free to reach out to me or Edie Shellis because she also has them all. And, you know, we at least one or both of us can make sure you get a copy of it.
Okay, I appreciate that. So it sounds like for a workaround for currently, if members of the public are planning to use resolutions as a talking point or reference for other stakeholders, that we should contact the ANC commissioner that drafted them. Is that correct? Or should we reach out to the executive director generally?
Both the ED and the commissioner in question who wrote the resolution. So
Oh.
that way, there's a tag team. So, once again, and I mean, I see Edie Shellis has come off camera, so I'm sure she would like to respond. So that's at least I can tell you what I can do for you because I write the bulk of the resolutions. So you can always feel free to reach out to me. Edie Shellis, did you want to chime in? Go ahead, you're recognized.
Yes. So they're not on the website quite yet. I'll do that as soon as possible. I have them. We just had so many, and so we're gonna go ahead and publicly put them on the website. However, this has been flagged almost by every commissioner. We really want to work on the website, not just with the content that it has and it holds, but also the way it looks. We all agreed that we want to make some changes, and this is something that we all agreed that we want to work on this year. So we hope to get to it. I also noticed myself that a lot of the commissioners' names and the year that they put work into this commission is not on the website as well. So it's very messy because I also just came onto this commission last year, so I don't know everyone's names. It's information that I feel like I want to work towards so we can recognize our past commissioners on the website as well. There's a lot of missing gaps, and so we will work towards that, and we hope we can fill in the missing gaps here on the website.
I appreciate that very much. And I don't want to create more work than is necessary in the near term. So, for me, I was able to access 2024, 2023, and going back. So I think that even if it's just kind of like a data dump, I'm doing air quotes without you seeing me, I don't mind clicking through 5 resolutions to try to find the one that is specific. So, and I don't think members of the public would mind doing that. I think it's more important to be like, hey, we need to improve. That's on our agenda. It's not on our agenda. That's going to be completed in the next 2 weeks. So thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Any further public announcements or comments before we move on to our next section? If you have any questions or if you have any comments or announcements, please raise your hand and we'll recognize you. All right, seeing no further announcements or comments from members of the public, we will now go ahead into the next section, which is a certificate of need. If the representatives are here, please raise your hand and will be promoted. And this is Commissioner Yang's section.
Good evening, Chair and everybody else, commissioners. My name is Francisco Semio. I'm advising on this project. I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Pittman and Dr. Salmonek, and also Carmen Rodriguez, who's been working on this project.
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
Can someone please give Ms. Carmen Rodriguez rights to share her screen?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, Carmen, I think we'll take it from here. Hello, everyone. I am Troy Pittman, and I'm joined here with Mike Salmonek. We'll go to the first slide. We'll try and keep it brief so we have plenty of time for your questions.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Michael Somonik. I actually have been practicing in Ward 2 for the past 10 years until we started our practice back in 2018 together. And just a little background on myself. I did most of my training in the Chicagoland area, and I'm double board certified in otolaryngology, where I went to residency at Rush University Medical Center. And the other certification is facioplastic and reconstructive surgery, where I went to University of Illinois at Chicago to get that certification.
And I am Troy Pittman, a board certified plastic surgeon. I went to medical school in Buffalo. Ironically, I am a native of DC. I went all the way west to do my training in Chicago and then came back to Georgetown to do a fellowship in aesthetic and breast plastic surgery at Georgetown, and then became the director of breast reconstruction at Georgetown. And the irony of that was outside my window at my office at Georgetown, I could see my childhood home. So I went very far away to come right back to the area. And I'm the only plastic surgeon in DC with really this advanced aesthetic fellowship training. And that's something that we're very proud of. Next slide, please. So a little bit about our business. Our Somonik Pittman MD Surgical Suite is an existing outpatient surgery center operated by our parent company, Advanced Plastic Surgery. We're proactively submitting a certificate of need for our current location to make the practice compliant with DC healthcare facility regulation. When we opened the facility in 2020, there was a lot of confusion amongst what was considered a healthcare facility in the district, whether that be an ambulatory surgery center or an office-based surgical suite. And we were told by our consultants that because we were an office-based surgical suite, that was an extension of our office and did not need a certificate of need. We're located at 2440 M Street, and we're in the 5th floor of that building. As the rules became clearer with the new SHPTA administration, it became clear that any facility providing an advanced level of care, so surgical care, regardless of what we classify that as, needed a certificate of need. And so we're proactively submitting this certificate of need to comply. And it is a 2,700 square foot facility with 2 operating rooms and a full pre-op and recovery area. This is the timeline. We founded Somonik Pittman MD in 2018. We became operational, ironically, in the middle of COVID in 2020. And in 2025, we submitted early in the late winter, we submitted our intent to apply for the certificate of need. Next slide, please. So we're just proactively trying to align ourselves. We're deeply rooted in DC. As we talked about, Dr. Somonik has been here really his entire practice since moving from Chicago to DC in Ward 2. I left Georgetown in 2017. We've been in practice together. And we're established, we're accredited by Quad A, which, if you're not familiar with what Quad A SF is, it is the gold standard for office-based surgery. Anybody who knows what JCAHO is, that is an accrediting body that really oversees the safety and quality of hospitals, and Quad A is the outpatient equivalent to that. So we are fully accredited. We have a 100% compliance score. Each month we submit our cases, and those are reviewed by third parties on a committee nationally to make sure that we're providing the highest quality care to all of our patients. We adhere to all the life safety and quality standards, and we are really invested in the community economically and ethically and committed to compliance, safety, and really doing things the right way. We do not cut corners. We're very by the book with how we run our facility, and we're very proud of it. So we, as I said, maintain this 100% compliance score. We perform elective aesthetic plastic surgery, both surgical and non-surgical, ensuring the highest level of safety, privacy, and patient comfort. Many of our patients are residents of Ward 2. We are both board certified surgeons. We work only with board certified anesthesiologists within the suite. Now we're going to brag about ourselves just a moment, not to really brag about ourselves, but to really show you our commitment to quality.
I think we're very proud of the team that we've compiled within our office, and it has come through with various recognitions throughout the year. Since starting the practice in 2018, we've been voted by DC Magazine for the past 4 consecutive years as the best plastic surgery practice, but also been nominated by Washingtonian top docs since 2018. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Castle Connolly, but it is a peer-nominated review process, really only comprising about 7% of the US physicians. And we've been proud to be nominated and honored by that for the past 4 years. We actually have many patients within Ward 2, including Georgetown, West End, DuPont region, and we actively support the businesses. I think one of the main things that we've done, specifically even when COVID happened, was we were still continuing to do outpatient-based surgeries, and many of our patients utilize the hotel services, particularly the Fairmont, the Westin, and the Park Hyatt, which are just walking distance from our office. And we still continue to do that for many patients that decide to recover locally with us. We are both members of the LGBTQ plus community, which I really do think inherently positions us to understand some of the lived experiences and healthcare challenges of this population. And we also volunteer, we offer pro bono services. One of them is the face-to-face that I'm part of with my national organization, which allows victims of domestic violence to apply and get pro bono services if they are accepted through the application process. And so we really are we're offering a safe, affirming, and welcoming space for all individuals within the community.
One of the things that I also do, I have hundreds of breast cancer survivors that I took care of at Georgetown. Those patients will often come for follow-up care. One of the big barriers to just good healthcare continuity is that health insurance companies will often, the FDA's recommendation for patients with breast implants, whether it's for reconstruction, cosmetic, transgender patients, they should have a high-resolution ultrasound every 5 or 6 years to make sure they don't have a rupture. There's a huge barrier with health insurance companies who don't want to pay for this because they don't deem it as medically necessary, even though it is an FDA mandate. I do those ultrasounds in our office at no charge for patients who want to come in and have those ultrasounds. And many of my patients have still come to me for good breast follow-up care who are survivors, and we provide those services at no charge as well. Next slide, please, Carmen. Our target population, really, we offer all aspects of aesthetic plastic surgery from head to toe. And that's for aesthetic enhancement. It can be for functional correction. And it really is a restoration of self-confidence for a lot of these individuals. Patients typically pay out of pocket, although we have financing and payment plans which are very generous, which often patients are able to finance their surgeries at no charge to them. There's no interest for them. And so we will plan to work very closely with the SHPTA on the CON regulatory uncompensated care requirements to continue the work that we've already been doing. These are our practice credentials. We won't belabor them, but we do have trained nursing staff. All of our registered nurses come from the large university hospitals. We have board certified anesthesiologists, a very large support personnel. We have a full med spa as well, and we would certainly welcome any of the commission to stop by our office. We're right at 25th and M. Everyone probably has a doctor in that building because there are so many doctors in that building. We'd be happy to show you our facility. We'd be happy to meet with you because we're your neighbors. And at this point, if anyone has any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, gentlemen. Commissioner Yang, do you want to go ahead and move this item so we can start the discussion?
Yes, I would like to move for discussion among the commissioners.
Okay. Chair Patel seconds. I actually have some questions, but Commissioner Yang, I'll defer to you first if you had questions or comments before I ask.
Yeah, I'd just like to have a comment. I did talk to Dr. Troy Pittman earlier, and I would like to say that they have been an established business within our district. And I believe that, you know, I am completely in support of businesses who are trying to be in compliance. DC law can be kind of complicated, and anyone who is coming here voluntarily trying to be more compliant, I am in full support of, and I urge my commissioner to do the same. Opening the floor to other commissioners.
Before I ask my questions or have comments, colleagues, did you have any questions or comments? Please raise your hand and I'll recognize you. All right, seeing no questions or comments from colleagues. Doctors, welcome. I'm Chairperson Patel of ANC2A. There's one comment. Well, let me say this one question about the process. So you've reiterated in your presentation that this is voluntary for you. You've not been required to ask that, to have this. Have you worked with Councilwoman Christina Henderson's team on this? She chairs the health committee. So the certificate of need, all of this would be under her purview. I'm just curious if you had reached out to her team or got any guidance from them as well.
So we're working with SHPTA, and we have a representative who is part of the SHPTA staff who has been an advisor to us. Francisco, did you want to? Do you have something to say?
Yeah, as Chair Patel, that's an excellent question, and I've been in the field of regulatory affairs in the district for over 7 years now, working in certificate of need applications. And from day one, I was told that from the first attempt to reach out to one of the ward council members, that they don't get involved with the CON applications for support. Usually that goes to the ANCs for a lot of support. And also in the application, the actual application from the SHPTA, which is the DC State Health Planning and Development Agency, there are questions addressing, part is, did you communicate your intent to apply to your ANC where your healthcare facility or service will be located?
Okay, no. The reason why I asked this, Councilwoman Henderson does really wonderful oversight around all of these agencies, which this is under her purview. So that's why I was just curious, because I do know she's very much about improving process and procedure. So that's why I was asking the questions, like how this process has been for you and your team, because I do know that it is very easy to get confused in this process. So I just kind of wanted to know how your experience was. That's why I was asking that question. So that's my first question. The second question, and I apologize, I know one of the two of you has this special training, but I forgot which one of you. To the doctor that has the adaptive breast construction training. I don't want to make assumptions, but could you go into a little bit more detail about that? Because I am wondering, with this specialized training, what does this allow you to do for those patients?
Sure, that's a great question. Thank you for that. What it is really is there are so many different types of surgery to the breast that are high risk, and meaning that something as simple as a breast reduction can go horribly wrong as far as blood supply to the tissues go, complications that patients may have. And what my fellowship at Georgetown really focused on, I was trained by a physician named Scott Spear, who was really one of the world's experts in breast surgery. And so what that allowed me to do is really focus on all complex breast surgeries, whether that be for cosmetic reasons or reconstructive reasons, and do those surgeries safely. And I'm really committed to peer education. We're both often asked to travel throughout the region, throughout the world, lecturing on the special techniques. We have several things that are kind of coming down the pipeline that are going to offer patients ways to have more minimally invasive type surgeries. And so we are first and foremost committed to kind of lifelong learning and quality, which I do think really raises the bar for what patients can do or what patients can have done. We do attract a fair number of patients from the Northeast corridor. And so along with that, we're kind of bringing patients into the area who are staying in the hotels, who are utilizing the restaurant services and things like that. So the quality, I think, speaks for itself, and we are able to attract patients for that reason. I hope that answered
Okay.
your question.
No, it did, because I do know that the kind of training you have, there are many individuals who are breast cancer survivors, when they try to go in for reconstructive surgery, they have to go to a specialized person, even with further
Correct.
training. And so I was wondering if that training was, well, yes, you do provide cosmetics. It's classified as cosmetic, but I was wondering, like, if the bulk of those patients were actually breast cancer survivors who needed like a specialized care or follow-up treatment plan with your team.
With our services, I don't do as much breast reconstruction as I did at the university, because that often needs a multidisciplinary team. So those patients need to see an oncologist, they need many times radiation, they need the tertiary medical services that are provided in the hospital. And so small revisions, something as simple as a nipple reconstruction to make the patient feel whole again, those are things that we do. But the larger reconstructions now are kind of out of our scope of practice.
Okay, no, thank you for that. And then my third and final question is, does your medical team provide gender affirming care?
We do.
Okay.
So I kind of took that with me from my breast reconstruction days, and do a lot of transgender female surgery, top surgery.
Okay. Those were all the questions I had for you. I think my final comment is both of you have really great skin, and I want to know your skincare regimen because I'm obsessed with skincare these days. So those were all my questions or comments. I will once again, before I go to members of the public, did any of my colleagues have questions or comments before I go to the members of the public? Okay, seeing none of my colleagues had any questions or comments for you. If you're a member of the public and you have a question or comment for the doctors, please raise your hand and we'll recognize you. Oh, I do see that a colleague has a question. It's Francisco. Francisco, go ahead. I recognize you.
Thank you. So I just want to, to be a little more specific in answering your first question. The application process, it's difficult. And it's changed from some years ago when it was just a PDF application format on the SHPTA website to now kind of like an online submission. But the online submission is an online platform, but then there is an Excel sheet, and it's very duplicative. I've worked with a couple of recent clients who really were irate at how complex it's gotten. So when you're looking at providers in a community, if they don't have a certain amount of money to hire somebody to do this, it's hard to navigate. So it becomes financially unattainable to some practices unless they can afford it. But I'm going to say that Councilmember Christina Henderson has been great with CON reform. The bill that she introduced has made its way through. It's been signed by the mayor. Unfortunately, it's an unfunded mandate, which would alleviate this issue. And I'm not sure if you viewed the hearing that she had on this bill, but she was very frustrated. That said that she's received many, many comments complaints from the medical community about how difficult it is to introduce or provide services in the district and to open a healthcare business in the district. So hopefully, depending on what happens with the budget, if the bill actually becomes official, where it's funded, we're going to see some of the regulatory burden alleviated from our community, which would definitely be great for the community. I think that both Dr. Somonik and Dr. Pittman had a great case. I mean, they've been excellent practitioners, stellar record of quality care. And as the SHPTA analyst who's been assigned to this submission said, that this is pretty much a sell-through. It's simply just saying becoming compliant to align with the regulations.
Okay. No, thank you, Francisco. I didn't watch that particular hearing, but I do know that this has been heavily discussed in the Committee of Health. That's the reason why I asked that first question. How was your experience? Have you worked with her team? And Commissioner Malik may be very shocked that I remember this. We went through this process when you were the representative for single member District 2A02, similar process. I don't even know if you remember that application. And I believe it was very similar. They were able to have someone like you to help them facilitate that process. And so I'm usually pretty mindful of these things. So I appreciate you and your team indulging me on a lot of the questions that I had for you, but I think this was important to get on the record. And I hope at the next hearing, performance hearing for next year, that I hope the doctors and you return and share your experience, and that, there was an inquisitive commissioner that cared and asked those questions about you. I do not see that any members of the public have raised their hand for questions or comments for you. I will go ahead and call the question on this. We'll go ahead and do this by Robert's Rules, Division of the House, going in numerical order. Commissioner DeCapo, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Yang?
Yes.
Chairperson Patel is a yes.
Commissioner Comer is a yes.
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 All right. Motion passes 6-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you very much. We appreciate
you.
your support.
Thanks.
Come and see us.
I will. All right, the next item up on the agenda is a license change before APCA. It is under the purview of Commissioner Malik, so I'll go ahead and yield the floor to you, Commissioner.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Yes, what we have on the table now is a request from 60 Vines, which is a restaurant and wine bar located at 23rd and Washington Circle, to change their Friday and Saturday indoor closing hours from 10 p.m., which they currently are, to 11 p.m., just on Friday and Saturday. No other changes to this application. I'm supportive of this. I haven't heard any objections from anyone in my SMD, so I'm recommending that we take no action on this, but I'm happy to have a conversation.
Any questions or comments from colleagues? Seeing none, I think my only comment is,
Sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry, Chairperson. Ed had his hand. Commissioner Comer had his hand.
I have raised
Oh, I'm
my
sorry.
hand. Yeah, I raised my hand. I agree with Commissioner Malik. I think that's a reasonable amount of time, 11 o'clock. It's not in a residential area, and I think we should take no action and let it go forward. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments from colleagues before I just chime in with my comment? Attaching myself to Commissioner Comer's comments. I don't view this as controversial, but I did want you to have the opportunity, Commissioner Malik, if there were questions or comments you wanted to have on the record, that you would be given the opportunity. Seeing no further questions or comments from colleagues, if you're a member of the public that has a question or comment about this particular change, please raise your hand or *9 if you're on the phone, and we'll go ahead and recognize you. All right, seeing no questions or comments, Commissioner Malik has moved to take no action. Commissioner Comer, do you want to be the second of record on that?
Well, point of process. I don't have a motion on the table. I'm just recommending that we do nothing.
Just do nothing.
Yeah, just do nothing. The application will move forward. We could, if anybody would like to make a motion to support it, we can make a motion to support it and then send a letter to ABCA. I'm not going to motion for that, but I would support it if somebody wanted to do that. I think it fundamentally doesn't matter unless we oppose this. It doesn't matter what we do.
I think we should just take no action and move on to the next topic. I think procedurally it's simpler, there's less paperwork involved, and there's a record of this in the minutes of the meeting.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody was comfortable with that. All right, well then, moving on to the last topic, which is renewals before APCA. I will request from the commission to separate letter E. So from that motion, so I'm moving for that. Can I have a second to remove item E to its own separate area?
Can I ask
I will
why?
second. Yeah, but also ask. I was also wondering why.
Because I want to be on record as not supporting that particular thing, that particular restaurant. Commissioner Malik, you're recognized.
Just as a point of process, I don't think they're bundled yet. We would need to bundle them.
Copy.
Yeah.
All right. So I would have to motion to bundle all of them and then separate them. Is that it?
No, I think you can motion to bundle everything except the ones that you don't want to be in the bundle.
Okay. So I motion to bundle letters A, and I don't know what the last letter is.
U.
And it's B through U. It looks like we don't have an A.
Oh, that's strange. Okay, well, let's see. I motion that we bundle letters B through U with the exception of E. Okay. And do I have a second for that?
I will second that.
Okay, Commissioner DeCapo. Are there any comments or questions from colleagues on items B through U with the exception of E? Okay, seeing no questions or comments on that. If you're a member of the public and you have any questions on or comments for line items B through U on the exception of E? All right, Commissioner Malik.
I'm sorry. I know that I'm sometimes a stickler for the rules.
No. Please. If there is something I did not, hey, I want to make sure this is done correctly, so I don't mind.
Okay, so the motion on the table is to bundle. So we need to pass the motion on the table to bundle, and then there would need to be a motion to, if you want to do a motion to support them or however you want to handle that, that's up to you. But this is just the motion to bundle. So we need to pass that first before we go on to a conversation about them.
Okay, on the motion to bundle B through U with the exception of E, commissioners, do you vote in support? I'll do a thumbs up or say yes.
Yes.
All right, so unanimous consent on bundling those items. Do I have any comments or questions from colleagues about any of these items? No. Members of the public, do you have any questions or comments about these items? All right, seeing no questions or comments, I'll go ahead and take, I'll go ahead and say we take no action. Is that amenable to the commission for those particular items? I see Commissioner DeCapo shaking his head, Commissioner Malik, Commissioner Comer, Commissioners Youngstone and Yang, I don't see. Okay, I see you now. Okay, so those items are, we take no action. On item E, which is the Resica West End, I just want to be on record as a no for that particular item. I think the majority is still to take no action. I just want to be on record as saying I don't support that particular license. Commissioner Malik, I probably didn't do something right. Please.
No, that's fine. I just want to give you, if that is your intention, I'm happy to move that we support Resica's license renewal application.
Okay.
Second. I will
okay.
second that.
Okay, motion made in
No,
second.
are you moving to support or to take no action?
I'm moving to support so that I can give the chairperson an opportunity to vote against the motion to support.
Okay.
Otherwise, there would be no official record of that.
Okay, I will second that.
Okay, any questions or comments? Commissioner Youngstone, I recognize you.
Yeah. So if the intent is to have an opportunity for Chair Patel to vote against it, would it make more sense to have a vote instead to sort of what's the opposite of supporting to
We could protest. Yeah, I mean, we could have a vote to protest.
and then that way, if that doesn't pass, we don't need to submit a letter of support.
Okay, without objection, I'll withdraw my motion.
Chair Patel, did you want to give any sort of additional context?
So Commissioner Malik's withdrawn the motion, so that
Oh,
that
okay.
ended the
If that's the
debate.
case, all right, all motion to protest then.
Okay, and Chair Patel seconds. And so that'll go ahead. Go ahead.
Question. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear Commissioner Youngstone. What action have we taken so I can put it in the minutes?
Oh, just so the motion to support was withdrawn and a motion to protest was proposed.
Okay, and who filed that motion?
So I motioned, Chair Patel seconded.
Okay.
Okay, so now this opens up the discussion about this particular item. Did I have any questions or comments from colleagues?
Yes, I have a comment. I think it is an excellent restaurant. It's a good neighbor. And whether or not you disagree with, I don't know exactly why anybody's protesting it. If you disagree with their employment records or anything else, I don't think that's a reason. Personally, for me, that's not a reason to deny their application for renewal. I think it is an important component of our neighborhood. And I intend to support their request for renewal and oppose the motion to protest. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments from colleagues before I go? So colleagues, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a no on this. With respect to Commissioner Comer, I do not feel that way about the restaurant group. The restaurant group has had wage theft allegations against them. They have been found in the courts of law in violation. As a matter of fact, the DC Culinary Union is actually organizing workers in their restaurants for better wages, better working conditions. The restaurant group has through reports of media, been accused of union busting. While they may be a contributing neighbor and a lot of people enjoy patroning their restaurants, I still patron their restaurants, but I believe when workers want to stand for dignity, I do I do want to take a stand and support. And so that is going to be my reason for voting for the protest. But that's mine and mine alone. So I don't have any further comments on this, unless colleagues have any further questions or comments. Then I will go ahead and move to take comments from the public. Commissioner Malik?
I'm going to abstain on this vote, but I just want to say, I mean, I think these are really serious and important concerns that you raise. I'm abstaining because I don't know enough about this issue. This was only raised in this meeting. I mean, obviously there's been media reports. I would encourage us as a commission to have more of these types of conversations before we get to the point of voting. I might have been willing to support this had I known more about it. I think we should keep having conversations about these types of issues. I mean, I agree with Commissioner Comer too, but anytime we're dealing with what I think are fairly serious allegations of something like wage theft, yeah, that's certainly relevant. And I think that it's reasonable to have that conversation in the context of a license renewal or a license application. So I don't want to cast any aspersions on the restaurant group. I don't know enough of the details, but I guess I'm just saying that I think that this is a reasonable conversation to have, and I hope that we continue doing that as a commission in the future.
No, thank you for your comments, Commissioner Malik. So I did not realize that this was one of the restaurant groups bundled until today, because we have been getting a lot of renewal applications, and it's just when I happened to look at it, I just wanted to state that, so, and, the DC Culinary Union fight, which unite here, the local union for restaurant workers citywide, is taking on this fight. So there have been plenty of media reports about this, not that I'm dinging anyone on that, but I have been following it very closely. I have actually been supporting a lot of these workers through their union elections. As a matter of fact, there is an ANC-wide labor caucus. So members of the labor caucus, which I am, have, all said, where we can stand in solidarity in support of the workers, we will. I do not expect anyone else to take the stance that I have. I understand that this is something that is important for people. I just wanted to be on record as that I don't support this venue. So that's all. I don't expect anyone else to take the stance that I have. Commissioner Comer?
Yeah, I just want to say, Chair Patel, I respect your position. This is an area you spent a lot of time on and you know a lot about. But I do want to say I'm very reluctant to deny, protest somebody's license renewal without, based on the kinds of allegations that have been made, without more evidence and proof about this stuff. Right now, I would be very reluctant. I don't know all of this stuff, and so that you're alleging, and without seeing, more evidence, it makes it very difficult for me to protest this renewal. And I appreciate the fact that you just realized it just came up, but we are dealing with a major successful business, and that a lot of people like, and if they have labor problems, yes, they need to be resolved. But I don't think we have hardcore enough evidence to really act on that at this point in time. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Absolutely understood, Commissioner Comer. And I mean, I can find it, but there have been individual media report stories about the restaurant group about workers who have taken them to court. They've always been settled, which is why you don't see anything officially come in the record. So like I said, yes, they are a major restaurant group that is very popular. But in other arenas and other avenues, which media has documented, there have been people who have gone on record about their experience with their restaurant group work as workers. So I
Again,
just want to say that.
I am an avid reader of local media, and I've never seen any of those comments. So maybe I'm reading the wrong papers, but or blogs, but I've never seen any of those allegations myself.
Okay,
So,
yeah, this has been discussed in Axios. I think it's the Washingtonian. Jessica Sidman is the writer. So a lot like Amanda Gomez, Jessica Sidman, and I think 2 or 3 other reporters have been following this issue for quite a while. And like I said, I just wanted to point that out, that it has been written about, but you have to
I
know,
hear you.
yeah, you just have to know where to look. And like I said, yes, there's a wealth of media resources, and it's very easy to have one publication not highlight it while another one will focus on it
Well,
heavily.
I'm an avid reader of the Washingtonian and Jessica Sidman, and I just don't remember it.
No,
So,
no worries. No worries. Vice Chairperson DeCapo, you're recognized.
Yeah, so I was actually, excuse me, I was able to find some of the articles you were alluding to, including one in the Washingtonian, right, that I'm looking at right now. Are these restaurant workers, are they currently trying to unionize? I couldn't find anything from the
Yes.
past few months.
Yes, they are. So it has been rather contentious with a lot of these. I think I forgot the amount of workers, but I think it's a total of 1,500 between several different restaurant groups that are trying to unionize. And Unite Here has been the union that is helping them, facilitate the union elections. So it's pretty big in the labor movement world. So a lot of us are following this very, very closely. And so far, every single union election that's been held, the workers have won. And so a lot of this is push for, better working conditions, better wages, better benefits. And so this is probably one of the largest worker-driven movements that the district has seen in quite a few years. And so the Knightsbridge Restaurant Group has been one of the groups where several workers have tried to collectively unionize and organize and call for a union election.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware of the Knightsbridge group.
That's the name of the umbrella group for
Yeah,
Rosica Weston.
yeah.
It's
I've
known
heard
as
of
Knightsbridge.
Star, the other one
Yes.
that owns La Dip and all that. I've heard of that
Yes.
one. I hadn't heard of this one. But I'm glad I did now. So I didn't know about the ANC Labor Caucus. I'll be asking you about that at a later date.
Yes, yes. That is one of the labors of love that I have wanted to do. A different commissioner started it and is running it, and I'm very happy that they are running it. But that is a priority for the ANC Labor Caucus to stand with these restaurant workers as they're unionizing across the city.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for answering my questions.
Of course. Further questions or comments? Commissioner Yang.
Yeah, I like to echo the sentiment that I do think this is a very important cause. I just think that if we are going to mount an official protest, I think it's important to invite the establishment to speak at our meeting instead of making these type of decisions unilaterally. We definitely need to do our due diligence because we should use our protest diligently and sparingly. So they actually carry the weight that it should instead of us becoming a commission that just throw these protests around. Also, understanding that you did not have time to review all of the application beforehand, but I also would like to have known about this and done my own due diligence before casting this vote.
Acknowledged, Commissioner Yang. And once again, I was not trying to put any commissioner in an awkward position. I just really wanted to be a no. That's all. I was not looking for anybody else to join me. Requested to know the reason why. So that's the only reason why I articulated why I'm a no. Commissioner Youngstown, unless Commissioner Yang, you had any further comments or questions before I yield to Commissioner Youngstown.
No further questions from me.
Thank you. Commissioner Youngstown.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify. So the reason I proposed it this way is not because I thought it would pass, but just because it would allow the chair an opportunity to vote against it, while not requiring us to sort of send a letter of support. So with that in mind, unless there are any additional comments from colleagues, I'd like to move the question.
Commissioner Malik, your hand is raised.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just another rules thing. Moving the question requires a 2/3 vote. It's usually faster to just not do that and ask if there's
Okay.
no, yeah.
Okay. Is there in that case, is there any additional comment before we vote? Okay.
Commissioner Yang, you still have your hand up. Is that from previous time, or you want to make an additional comment?
Previous time.
Copy. All right. In that case, seeing no questions or comments from the members of the public, I would have recognized you had raised your hand. Seeing none, seeing all comments and questions exhausted by the commissioners, I'm going to go ahead and call this to a vote. We're going to go ahead and do this by division of the House. Commissioner DeCapo, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Yang, how do you vote?
I'm just clarifying, we're voting on whether we want to protest.
That is correct, Commissioner Yang.
No.
Okay. Chairperson Patel is a yes.
Commissioner Comer is a no.
Commissioner Malik is abstaining.
And I'll abstain as well.
Okay. The motion deadlocks. 2-2-2. All right. Thank you so much for allowing me to be able to voice my dissent on that. Seeing no further business being able to be conducted, I will go ahead and adjourn this meeting. It is 9:14 p.m. The next meeting date will be held on Wednesday, June 18th at 7 p.m. and the location will be virtual. I will see you all next month.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.